Members of the National Park Service refused to acknowledge a name change of a lake in Washington state. Now, this story is pretty controversial considering what the previous name of the lake was, Coon Lake. All right, so state officials agreed to change the name of Coon Lake and Coon Creek after a Seattle man convinced them the designation was intended as a racial slur against Wilson Howard, who worked claims and lived in the area in the 1890s. So he was a miner who, of course, had to deal with a considerable amount of racism given the time. Now, the state's Board of Geographic Names officially changed the names to Howard Lake and Howard Creek in 2008, but the National Park Service continues to oppose the name changes. National Park Service officials said they aren't certain Coon referred to a black miner in an almost entirely white community more than 100 years ago when newspapers regularly used the racial slur in reference to black people. Also keep this in mind, a creek in the same county was renamed from the N-word Creek to Negro Creek in the 1960s.
You know, okay, I'm going to say the full word because you need to hear the power of it, right? So back in the 1960s, same county, same county. If you're confused as to the intent of naming this particular place Coon Lake, a different lake is called, with an R, Nigger Lake, okay? And then in the 1960s, they go, no, wait. That seems like it's a bit much. Leave Coon Lake alone, and we'll change this lake to Negro Lake. So finally, they changed it. But as Anna pointed out, they changed it in 2009. It took till 2009 to change Negro Lake, and they still haven't changed Coon Lake. Now, look, there's another Coon Lake in Anoka County, Minnesota, but that is actually named after the raccoons that are in the area. Nobody's saying change that lake's name.
But how about just add the raw, right? I'm in favor of raw, like Raccoon Lake, like that. All right. You know, I get it. It's not the one in, is it Minnesota you said?
Yeah, Minnesota.
Yeah, I don't think it's named after, you know, that slur. But this county that we're talking about in Washington obviously had a very clear issue with racism, and they obviously named the lake for racist reasons. So change the name of the lake. Why are the feds having a hard time with this?
Yeah, and especially when the locals already agree. So, look, my point is that I know sometimes there's confusion about the word coon because of raccoon and others, and there's some controversies that arise out of it. But in this case, it's super clear. There's no question about it. The newspapers at the time say, hey, yeah, it's named after that coon, right, that found the lake. Now, they refer to people in general as coons there, but then you have record of a black guy found this lake, and like the black guy found the other lake, they called it, you know, N-word Lake. It's super clear. That's why they named it. And I love that the locals are actually changing it to the name of the person who found the lakes in the first place. You know, Negro Creek became Eton Creek after the founder, or the person who found it was trying to find gold in the first place and found some gold there, who happened to be an African American. And in this case, they want to change it to Howard Lake because it's Wilson Howard who founded, who of course was African American. That's great. That's a great homage to the people who were brave and you know, and enterprising, and so we should do that. You know, I don't think that the National Park Services are racist as much as they are slow, and that's the question we're asking you guys.
Slow to what though? Like, what's the hard part about this?
So we'll ask you guys. So TYT app, the poll question here is: Washington's Coon Lake was renamed after it was deemed racist, but the National Park Service opposes the change. Is the NPS being racist? So far, 35% say yes, 65% say no. I'm in that no camp. I just think they're bureaucrats. It took them till 2009 to figure out that Negro Creek might not be the right way to go, right? And so in this case, they're like, I don't know, is it raccoons? Let's do a committee hearing on it. That's my sense of it, but maybe I'm being too kind and too generous. Either way, let's step to it. Get on it.